let me explain briefly. You need to implement a software management system. The following diagram illustrates the structure of the different classes. So, what do we have? We have a software, mainly. This is our parent class of the non-free software. So this software has 3 attributes: ID, name, and license. And we have the constructors, setters, and getters. We have toString, hash code, and dot equals. We need to override those functions because we will be defining an array list in the main class. So then we have the non-free software, which is a child of the software. It has plus to those 3 attributes a price because it's non-free. We assume this is a normal software and this is a non-free software. Then of course the constructor, we have extra getter and setter. Then we have the normal toString. Now, regarding the software directory, in this class we are creating an array list of type software. So it has a collection. We can say this is software directory is a collection of softwares. They can be normal software or non-free software. We'll create the constructor normally, add software. Software exists for searching, get number of non-free softwares, and toString. Then we'll create our main. Let's start step by step by creating the software. We have the ID, we have name, and we have license. We have our constructors. It will take 3 parameters and set my attributes accordingly. Then we have get ID, then we have set ID, we have get name, set name, so far, so normal. Then we have get license and set license, nothing new so far. Then what do we have? The hash code simply will return the ID. As we said, when you have a unique parameter, then happy life. You could simply use it as a hash code. A hash code is something that make you different from other objects, which is in this case the ID. Now we'll talk about dot equals. Now again, نفس المبدأ. If this object that I am trying to compare with is not an instance of software, then return false. By the way, this is an important keyword in Java. It's new for you, right? Instance of. Instance of, it will check if this object is one of the softwares. Is it clear? So it will check the class of this object if it is a software or not. So this is very important. Instance of. So I will check if it's instance of software. If it is not, then of course return false. Then we are defining a Boolean variable. Then we are doing the comparison. So this object is of type object. Then I'm converting it into software. Then I'm checking the ID of this object to the other object. This is a real software, but in order to access this, I need to make it as a software. لأنه in this case, I'm using it as an object. So in order to use it as a student or as a software, sorry, you need to do this.
Even if it's an instance of software.
Well, it is an instance of software. It is as يعني, even if it is an instance of software, but I cannot say. Look, let's try. Oops. Dot ID. Let's see. Cannot find symbol, variable ID, variable object of type object. That's the thing. In order to access the ID, you need to add this to convert it into a software, then access the ID and do the comparison. Now the comparison is according to the ID. Clear?
Yes, it's
If it's not a software, can we do that anyways?
It's not a software, no. رجعنا من الأول. We returned false وارتحنا. No, they are false. They are not equal. I cannot compare software with banana, as I said before. I cannot compare software with a student. I cannot. So from the beginning, if it is not a software, ما نتعبش روحي. I don't have headache. I just return false. Now, if it is not the case, then I will go further. You could add else, but you don't need to, because you will not reach this statement unless it is a software. Clear? Because you have return. So if it is not a software, you return and you leave this method. However, if you continue, means it is a real software. Now, let's move further. Let's go to the non-free software. So here we are, this extends software. It's a child of software. It has another attribute, which is price, in addition to the 3 attributes that are defined in the superclass. Then this is the constructor. It takes ID, name, license, and price. Then I will send the information to my superclass, ID, name, and license, because I'll remind you about the constructor of my software. You have ID, name, and license. Then I will set my attribute price to the parameter. Then we have get price, normally, set price, also normally. Then we have toString. I'm using the toString of my superclass. So as you can see here, where is my toString? Here we are. I will return ID, name, and license. So in addition to my toString, I will add only one thing, which is the price. I believe this is very simple class, right? So let's move further. Now we will go to software director. Here we are. Now this is a normal class in which it has one attribute, which is L. In this case, it's an array list of type software. Now inside this, according to the lab, I need to define, of course, my constructor. So in the constructor, I will only do instantiation. You remember what we did last week? We did similar thing. We defined our attributes, then we instantiate them, our objects, inside the constructor. But so far, this array list has items or not?
No.
No, good. It's an empty array list, but it is instantiated, so it has a place in memory. Now add software. This is add software. It will take a software. What does it do simply? It will call the predefined method in my array list and give it the software. Very simple. Then what do we have? Software exists. It will search for the software. So we will use again the predefined method contains. It will do the searching. It will return true if the item was found. In this case, if the software was found.
مدام في الإكزيست.
Exists. Okay.
في الكويشن قالوا بالاي دي، اما تو كيف شفت في الدايجرام بالسوفتوير. اما كي تشوف الكويشن
No, the searching of course with ID, because remember Arish, you are Arish?
Yes.
Okay. We search with ID, of course. Wait. How I am searching? Internally contains or remove. Which function does it use, Arish?
Okay.
It use equals.
Yes.
Now contains, dot contains in array list, or dot remove in array list. It use internally which method?
Equals.
And hash code. Excellent. So in this case, of course, it does the comparison according to my ID. That's why in the lab we told you. If I did not tell you, how will you know? I will do the comparison according to what? But dot contains, it will search for a software. Like, see, when I go to a class and I'm searching for a girl, okay, I'm searching for a girl, so I will search through her name, true, but what I am looking for, I'm looking for a human being. I'm not looking for a book, or like, is it clear? I'm looking for a software. Excellent. ديما نحطوا الأوبجكت بتاعنا. Yes, نحطوا الأوبجكت بتاعنا. In this case, software or a student, sometimes it depends on your class. And internally, you'll decide this according to equals. In equals, you will set which attribute you will use.
Okay,
good.
Thank you.
Welcome. So software exists. This simply will call the contains thanks to ArrayList. Now, can you see, is it useful ArrayList? Can you see it's like it's adding value? It will help you a lot. Like you don't need for loops. Otherwise, you will use a for loop going through your array if it is an array. But in this case, I don't need. Like simply, I will use contains. Now, this function, get number of non-free software. Okay, now let's continue. Get number of non-free software. I will create n equal to 0, initialize it to 0. Then I will do looping. So I will loop through my array list. In this case, I need to. This is the only for loop that I have defined, by the way. The others, it will do it for me. So I will go through my array list. Size returns the size of my array list as it was explained in the slides. Then if l.getI is instance of non-free software, again to instance of, as we said, instance of, it will compare the class of this object with this. So you remember an array list, it's of type software. Since it is of type software, the items can be of type what and what? You remember
Non-free
polymorphism?
software. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Free or non-free.
Thank you. Normal software in our case and non-free software. So in this case, I will use instance of to check if this item is of type non-free software, then I will increment my counter. So this is a counter. Else, of course, I will not do anything. At the end of the day, I will return my counter. How many non-free softwares are there? So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Now, toString, I will simply return l.toString. Thanks again to Arraylist. In Arraylist, internally, it will use which toString?
Class software.
Thank you, and non-free software. Depending of the item type. If it is non-free software, it will go to the toString of non-free software. If it is software, it will go to toString of the software. So I will do only this. By the way, I am commenting this. You could do it from scratch, but you don't need to, like something like this. You will create a for loop going through all the array list, each time getting the item, toString, and adding it to the string. At the end of the day, return ch.
No.
So let's go to the software app. Now, please, were you able at least to do the design?
Yes. Yes, we were able.
Good. So you did not face problems. Maybe about putting them in one group. You need help with that?
Group button or a button.
But regarding button group, you will create those items. So drag and drop first. You will create a frame. By the way, in my case, let me run it. So you'll see it. So here we are. I am creating this frame. Now inside the frame, I have created a panel. Can you see this?
Yes.
This rectangle. It's not necessary, but it will look nicer. So you could do that. Then I'm creating another panel. Simply to create a panel, you add this one. Can you see my cursor here? You drag and drop. That's all. Of course, you can change the color, the design, and so many things in a panel. I did it simple. Then this is the second panel. In the first panel, I have added those labels. ID, I have changed the text, ID, name, license, and type and price. Then I have created those text fields, 1, 2, 3, 4 text fields. Then I have created 2 radio buttons inside one button group. I will show you how. And I have this button, normal button, and this is another one. This one is what? Is a text
Area.
field.
Text
Area.
field.
Thank you. It's not a text field, it's a text area. Simply شنو فرق بين text field and text area? Text area is larger. It will have more than one line. So in text field, you cannot have more than one. Now, regarding, as I said, the button group, you simply bring this button group. It's hidden, but where I can see it, I will go to the navigator. Can you see here in the other components? Already I have created a button group 1. You can see this one. So this is my one, and this is the second one. Now, since I have added one button group, I will go here. Oops, back to the design. So those are the properties of my radio button. Either you click to it, one click, or you do right click and go to properties. Here you have the different properties. In this case, I am interested about this button group 1. So I will choose which button group are there. So in this case, I have choose button group 1. You will see the groups that you have created. In this case, I'm creating 2. I will delete the second one. So far, so good. Is it clear?
Yes.
Good. I will do this also for free. Why do we need to create button group anyway? Can someone answer me, please?
So
that
that
you
they
can select one.
Excellent. Thank you, both of you. Yes, so you can select only one. And this is the idea behind radio button, right? You may select only one. Go further. Now let's go to the code, to the fun part. I will start by writing the code of my ad. So first I will go to the source, and here we are. At the beginning of my class, I need to define what? Software directory. Okay, so I need to create a software directory. Inside the directory, I already have what? An array list that will do all the tasks. So this will be my global variable software directory. This was created for me, but I don't care much. Then let us go to those buttons. By the way, now let me return back to the design. It is recommended, as it was explained in the demo, to rename, so it will be easier to understand. I will delete this, it's okay. Now, in my case, I'm renaming the text field. So I'm telling you, at least please rename the text fields and the button. Sorry, in my case, the button, I'm not renaming them. I was supposed to do so. However, regarding the labels, I don't care much, because generally we don't do some code regarding labels. Sometimes, but generally we don't. So in this case, I have ID for the text field ID, then I have name, then I have license, then I have what? Price. So those I will be using inside my code. So let me go directly to the add. This will take me to the add button action performed. So if the user press add, what will happen? In my case, what I'm saying, if JRadio button 1 is selected, then what? It is what? Back to the...
ID والname والlicense.
So it's free, right? If this one was selected, in other words, it's what? It's free software or non-free software. So if the JRadio button was selected, then I will create a normal software. Now, how to get the attributes values? I will do id.getText, name.getText. In the demo, those methods were defined. License.getText. This will return the text entered by the user in those fields. So id.getText will return the value entered by the user here, same here, same here. Then, what I need to do in case of ID, I need to convert it into integer, because remember the software, here we are. What does the constructor takes? The constructor takes an integer, string, and string. So I'm preparing this. Where is my software up? Here we are. Is this one? So integer.parseInt ID, then name and license. Is it clear?
string.
Sorry?
string.
Excellent. Yes, it returns string, and that's what I need. The name I needed string, and the license I needed string. The only thing I need to change is the ID. Now, after creating my software, I need to search for it, because what does the question say? You shouldn't add the same software more than one time, right?
Yes.
You shouldn't repeat the ID. So in this case, if I need to use software exist. SD is the name of my software directory. I'm calling the method software exist. I'm giving to it what? My software. So please search for this software. If it does already exist, then display this ID already exists. How the search will happen according to what?
To method
rule شو اسمه
Equal or hash code.
Thank you. Exactly. Depending on equals and hash code. So this is the case, else sd.add software. So I will go to the add software and give it the new software to be added. And at the same time, listsoft.append the new software. What is listsoft? Sorry, back to my software. Here we are. This is named as list software in my case. So where I am, here we are. Can you see this? My text area, I have named my text area as list software. So I will append the value to this. I'll run it and you can see, I guess, better. So let me write 1, 2, 3, for example, and this is the name, and this is the license, whatever. Then let's make it free. Now let's add. Can you see? So I'm appending to my list of softwares those values. Now let's add another one. For example, add. Can you see? So I am each time adding the new item to the list. Let's try to add the same ID. Sorry.
كنت باش نقول نفس الحاجة.
The ID already exists. Okay. Now regarding the ID, already exists. We have what? Let's go back. Can you see this? Show message dialog. This is really useful. Have you seen the message dialog that pop up? That this ID already exists. How to use it? Simply, we have J option pane. So this is a name of a class, predefined class in Java. It has this method, show message dialog. Okay, in this case, I'm doing null. You may Google it. It has so many options. It has warning, it has information, it has error message. So it has so many options. Sorry?
كما في الجافا سكريبت في الويب ديفلوبمنت.
Yes. So it will show a message dialog. The message dialog, in this case, I'm writing this text. Whatever you write, you will see. Let me write hello, like just playing. So 1, 2, 3. Add. Let's add again 1, 2, 3. Hello. Can you see? So this is the message that I have defined here, the text message. Is it clear?
Yes.
Good. So I return it back because of course I don't want to say hello. Now else, I will add it as I said, and I will append it to the end of my text area. Using what? ToString. Simply s.toString, the software.toString. So each time I'm appending the new software. Now, if the free button was selected, else, then it is non-free, right? So if JRadio button is selected, what shall I do? I will create non-free software object, and I will read ID, name, license, and price. The price I need also to convert it into integer because the price is supposed to be an integer.
Yes.
Where should upload? Okay, I will upload the correction. Yes, don't worry. Now, if software exists, نفس الكلام, the same concept. If it does exist, then the same thing, this ID already exists. Else, if it does not exist, then I need to add it. So again, add software, give it the information. And now, instead of appending, I'm doing set text. What's the difference between append and set text? The text area has some predefined methods. The append, it will add to the end. So in this case, I will append a single item at a time, a single software at a time. Set text will override the previous value. So in this case, I will give it the whole SD, the whole software directory. Clear? In my case, I could do the same thing. Now, in the previous case, what did we do? Area, text area dot append. معناها append, add to the end. Add to the end a software, this software. So I am adding to the previous list. Just a minute. So in this case, for example, 1, 2, 3, like, for example, add. Then I will add another one and add. I am what? Appending to this. So I am not overriding using append. However, when I do set text معناها erase those values and write a new one. We did not finish yet. Now back to the design. What did we do? We did the add. Now I did not show you regarding the enable and disable of this text field. So let me show it to you.
Miss
Yes.
the toString method
Mhm.
in the directory.
Good.
It's using the toString method of the software, right?
Excellent. Here we are.
If you want to, then how is it writing the using the toString of the non-free software for non-free software?
I'm writing here. Can you see here? I am inside the software directory. So I have defined Arraylist L, right? So L dot toString. Okay, good. Internally, this Arraylist, it will go item by item. Don't forget. Item by item. If the first item is a software, automatically it will go to this toString of a software. The list data is of a parent class, and we have in Java polymorphism. Don't forget. So it's not enough to know only the parent class, because maybe you have a parent class, but you instantiated with a child class. Do you remember this regarding polymorphism? So it will check what is it exactly. Is it a software or non-free software? If it is non-free software, it will go to this. So it knows. Okay. So here we are. If I select free, then this is disabled. How did I do this? Simply, I went here and then price.set enabled equals to false. Price is what? Is the name of my text field. Don't forget. So we have here. So price.set enabled equal to false. If you want it to be enabled, you'll put here true instead of false. So, and that's what I'm doing inside the other radio button. So in the radio button, non-free, which is this one, what I am doing, price.set enabled equals to true. So I am displaying it. Clear?
مادام il suffit pas باش نعملوا في واحدة بركة.
No, لأنه no. Let's try to remove this and see. So I will choose as free and then non-free. Can you see?
Okay, yes.
It did not work because it remembers the last action. It will not reverse it unless you tell it. Yani it's at the end of the day, it's not a human being. It will not understand unless you tell it.
كل حاجة لازم احنا
Exactly. Code it. Right. Good. So what else you need to know? What else you need to know? I have explained this already. I guess that's all, right? You have something? No? Remind me if I forget something, please.
I'm sorry.
كمل احكي سيبون الكونكسيون خايبة عندي.
Okay, tell me.
جست باش خاطر يا ربي مازلنا ما عملناش فازة نزيدوا يقول لنا قداش فما من non-free software.
Thank you very much. The other button. Yes. Good. Yes, tell me. Who wants to ask me? Yes.
مدام حبيت نسألك بلي بعد ما تجاوب على الأسئلة لازم تعاود لي كيفاش عملت تنجمش تختارهم الزوز معناه free و non free not free.
ما فهمتهاش.
button groups.
The group button.
خاطر ما
button group. You mean the button group?
ظهر لي مدام متذكرش بالضبط كيفاش عملتها.
I will tell it now before I forget. So, okay, let me. Okay, I have created this extra one, so I will delete it. I don't get this. Can I delete like stuff? Delete, please. Thank you. Okay, here we are. Now, after doing your design, you will go to something called button group. You will drag and drop. You don't see it. It's hidden. However, now when I go to my radio button, you choose this, for example, radio button. Your properties will appear here. Are you following?
Yes.
Good. Either it will appear here. If it did not appear here, you simply do right click. Sorry. So I will select my radio button and go to properties. Now, in my properties, there is something called button group. So you make sure to put your button group, which is in this case button group 1. It does not matter. If I select, for example, button group 3, I need to do what? To make the same thing for the other button. So both of them must be in the same group. So if one is selected, the other is disabled automatically. Clear?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Welcome. So I will like do Control Z because I don't want to change my code. Okay, I will delete this. Back to here. Let me confirm that I returned everything to it. Okay, very good. Now back to, I still need to do something which is show the number of non-free softwares. So here we are. I will add action to this button. It should be, we are here. Right. So I will show a message dialog and simply I will display what? SD, which is the software directory, good number of non-free software. I have defined this method inside my software directory. Simply, I will call it. Okay, that's all. Is it clear? Let me show it to you now what's going on. Like I will enter 1, 2, 3, and then ta 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 ta, then this is free. I will add it. I will add one free and one non-free, 3, 3. And then I will just put this as non-free and I will put 20, for example, add it. Now let me count. I need to put a new line anyway, ignore it. Can you see? Simply, I have called the function اللي هي calculate or get number of non-free software. It will do the task for me. And that's all. I show it as show message dialog. I guess that's all. Huh? That's what you need to do.